Good morning, and thank you for joining BBL Supercoach off the bench. I'm here this morning with Roscoe and Timmy. I hope everybody got some great scores this weekend. How did we go there, Roscoe?
Yeah, this week was a good round again. More green arrows. I got 1162, which I'm very happy with. Captain, Luke Maxey had Webster, had Dan Lawrence, a few other good scores in there, and yeah, pretty happy with that. Won 10 out of 10 leagues, moved up 2200 spots to 3827. So I'm still a fair way back, but it's a long way forward from when I was sitting at 18k after round one. So pretty happy with that. So looking forward to hopefully another good round and push closer to that top 1,000.
Beautiful, beautiful. Timmy, how'd you go?
Yeah, I had a pretty good round too, mate. It was interesting. I had six players going into last night, but I was secretly hoping that the game was actually going to get washed out. I think at the time before kickoff, I think I was on 740 points or something, which in across all of my leagues, there was only three scores better than what mine was at the particular time. So yeah, I was sort of secretly hoping that the game got washed out. But anyway, it is what it is. I still I scored pretty well, had an 11.25, had Maxi as captain. Season rank, I went up 273 ranks. I'm now sitting in 613th. So yeah, I think the nose is starting to bleed a little bit. It's as I'm getting higher up there. But yeah, team net value now over 2.4, which is nice to see. But yeah, it was interesting crunching the numbers after the game. I'll just throw some at you really quickly, boys. So just from where I am in 600th, first is 585 points in front of where I am. And then from that, 100th is 234 points. And then it gets real short real quick. So 200, I'm only 150 points off 200. And then it goes basically under 100 points between me and inside the top 300. So it's crazy. It's crazy close. The difference between me and 500 is 33, 400 is 64. Like there's just nothing in it up there. So apart from the guys at the very, very top, which I've still taken points out of, I think, over the last couple of rounds, then yeah, it's been really good. It's close. And then you go the other way, even just from me in 600th back to 1,000th is only 86 points. So it's people don't give up. There's still plenty of time, plenty of games. And this round especially, I think, is where you'll make or break.
I think the next two rounds, you've got two teams on the double this round, you've got three teams on the double next round. So, mate, I wouldn't be giving up like Tim said yet. Plenty
No.
of time. I'm not giving up. I'm in 3,800 and I want to get the top 1,000, so I'm definitely going to keep going. So,
I can't imagine you're far out of it, Roscoe.
I'm still a fair way out of it. I think I was looking at it earlier because Guy is in 1,019 and I was still a fair way behind him. And even Brad, like I'm still a fair way behind Brad as well. So, and Brad's only in the 2,000s. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, uh, it's a fair way. So,
What about yourself, Brad? How'd you go?
All right, I got 1,080. I was hoping last night got washed out. So I was leading 10 out of 10 leagues coming into last
You,
night,
you
but
beat me by 20 points going into the game or
yeah,
something. Cheeky
yeah,
bugger.
I had Timmy covered until last night's game came along and just did not yeah, it just didn't fall my way. But that's the way my super coach has gone this year. Sometimes you take these punts and they just don't pay off. Particularly if you're running from behind and you're doing a few riskier plays than you should, which is what I did. I tried to be cheeky and I actually vice captained Webby, which I ran with. Wasn't the worst decision in the world, but it obviously Maxi. If he just got out first ball, would have done me good. But anyway, it wasn't to be. He decided to
He,
put on 30, and
he did you a
yeah,
favour, mate. He didn't bowl three overs, so no bonus there.
yes, he did.
Oh, he did
yeah,
in the
he
end.
did,
Yeah,
yeah.
yes, he
Oh,
did.
righto.
Yep, yep. But I still had that covered. I still had you covered at that point. It was when he came out and batted that I was yeah. He got his strike rate bonus. He's just the best in the game at the moment, I'm afraid.
In In the last 10 minutes of the game, I was recording a podcast with the Supercoach Hub guys at the time. So shout out to the boys from Supercoach Hub. It was a pleasure to be on your show last night. If you haven't checked them out yet, go and have a listen. Supercoach Hub, they're on basically everywhere. Spotify, Apple playlists, they're in Buddy X, they're in everywhere. So check them out, go have a listen. Great value. But yeah, we were doing a recording there live last night, and it was interesting because I couldn't watch the cricket trying to check scores. I was messaging you guys to see how things were progressing. But just in the last 10 minutes of the game, I think by having the captaincy on Maxi, I went from about 1,020 to 1,120, just literally in that last 10 minutes. So I haven't seen any of the game, but geez, he must be hitting them well.
I'll tell you what, how is this for? So he started round one at 130k. He's played 4 games. He's now gone up 100k in 4 games. He went up 70k last night, and he's now sitting at 230k. Obviously we'll talk about him later on when we go through the buys and sells and that. But geez, it's going to be hard to sell him because you're going to want him back at some stage. So
yeah, you bet. I can't see him as being a trade out this round. Not unless you've got some diabolical plan way of getting him back in.
Unless you need the cash, but I'll be selling blokes like Sams and Webster before I sell Maxi.
About the only thing I will say, obviously we'll get to trades later. I just crunched the numbers really quickly on who's got how many games left, and the Stars do only have 3 games left. Whereas you look at like the Perth Scorchers, who've actually got 6 games left. So by bringing in Scorchers players, they've got 6. Strikers have still got 5. I think the Sixers was the only team I've got to work out yet. But yeah, Stars do only have 3 games left, so it's a tough one. But it's Maxi.
All right. Well, we might very quickly. I just want to give a big shout out to all our members. Thank you very much for all your support so far this year. It's been fantastic. I do try to answer all questions that come through to me. I know that Roscoe does exactly the same, and Timmy. But yeah, the interest and people's involvement has been fantastic. We've just passed 1,000 members, so thank you very much for everybody for jumping on. Spread the word. We're going to be doing lots over the NRL season as well, like we did last year. We were very involved there. Roscoe, you got a bit of news on our leagues over there? How our leagues are going?
Yeah. So at the moment we've got 3 guys in the top 100. We've got Mark Craswell, coach of the Dimmicks, in 22nd. Nick Pink, coach of Lock and Stock, in 27th, and Russell from Fading Philippi in 98th. So great job, guys. Well done. And off the bench 3 league, he's sitting 2nd overall at the moment in the leagues. And then off the bench 2 is in 44th. The others are, a bit fair way back from the rest. But great job, guys. Well done. Well done to Nick and Mark. You guys are doing a fantastic job, and keep it rolling. Hopefully we'll see one of you guys in the top 10 at the end of it, or if not winning it.
Winning it. Come on.
We'll just give a quick shout out then to our off the bench leagues. Just really quickly, shout out going out to Luke, captain or coach of Polly's Legends, is currently leading me on points difference in off the bench 4. Where are you guys at?
No idea. No idea.
Put you on the spot there, boys. Sorry. So Luke, I know Luke has been playing really well. He's right up there. He's overall points, he's ahead of me. So or there and thereabouts. So yeah, look, he's doing really well.
I'm coming 5th in my league.
Yeah, pull your finger out, will you?
And it just shows that the bloke who's coming 22nd overall isn't even leading our league. He's coming 3rd. So there you go.
Yeah.
Now our league is being led by Justin. I'll let you think about what his team name might be.
I know his team name, so I'm not going to say anything.
Justin Case?
No, he's a cider or something. Cider or something.
How about Justin Cider?
Justin Cider.
All right, Justin, you're going very well there. You're leading the off the bench seeded number 1. The rest of us are going pretty disastrously though in that league. We haven't the top ones. And they've got some good people in that, including Glenn and Lloydie, and we've all had a bit of a struggle. There. So good on you, Justin. Well done. All
Well,
right.
I think off the bench, League Three is pretty lucky. We've got three guys in the league that are sitting in the top 1,000, including the back-to-back champ. So, yeah,
No,
How is
very.
how is the
I don't.
back-to-back champ in off the bench 3? How
Oh,
did that work out?
because I needed an extra number, so I added him in as
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
whatever
yeah.
you
Look
call
at
it.
that.
Yeah.
Now I
Someone
see
someone
why.
did
Now I can see why off the
someone
bench
didn't.
3's
Sorry,
above
Tim, but
off the bench 2.
someone didn't join Timmy, so I added him in as a
Uh,
yeah, whatever you want to call it.
yeah, I call BS.
All right. So we'll have a quick look at these first games. We'll probably almost cover our own trades while we're talking about these. But the first game, I'm not sure about the relevance here, but it's the Sixers versus the Brisbane Heat. Is up here in Coffs Harbour. I probably won't be going to this game. I have had a look at the ground yesterday, and it does look pretty damn good. My worry is still there's a lot of greyness and showers and things that keep flicking over, and so I'm not uncertain that the rain is going to be. Coffs Harbour's pretty fit.
Don't say that, Brad. We don't want another rain-affected match.
Well, yeah, but how many
Seriously.
Sixers and Heat players are you really going to be running with at the moment?
I don't have any for either side, so
Yeah.
I'll be
See,
bringing some heat in next round for their double.
I've currently got Billings and Tall Paul, and I'm playing them this round, due to more necessity than anything else.
Yeah, and I've got Bartlett, and I'll be playing Bartlett this round as well for exactly the same reason.
Are you going to be bench looping him in case the game isn't on, or anything like that? Or are you just going to straight out play him in your team?
Well, my only bench option, I only have one bench option this week, is Chowdhury. So, do I go the Chowdhury route, or do I? I could, or I could bench. No.
Would you play Chowdhury over Fraser McGurk this week if you had the choice?
Well,
They're playing each other this round too.
Actually, I can't. I'll have to bench loop Bartlett because I can't bench loop Chowdhury because there's no way you can bring a player in to replace anybody because of the way they play, how late they play in the round there. So that becomes because both the Strikers and Scorchers obviously have already played, so you're locked out there. So he's gonna. Yeah, Bartlett definitely will be my looper option there. Yeah.
But what do you think there? Would you play Fraser McGurk or play Chowdhury?
I'm actually pretty happy with how Chowdhury's been going. It's since he started, I know he had a 10, but I don't think he was heavily involved in the game. But since then, he's cemented his spot and seems to be batting and bowling. So look, I think he can do worse than playing him.
The only thing I've got is
he will be playing. He'll be playing in my 11 this week.
Yeah. The only thing is that they're playing at Marvel, where Fraser McGurk averages something ridiculous like over 80 or something at Marvel, and then we don't know if Chowdhury's going to bowl. This is the problem. He bowled 4 overs last game, but then the game before that he didn't bowl any at all, and then he's only bowled 1 over previously to that. So I don't know.
I think if they're bowling 4 overs, they've got enough faith in his ability.
You two have got completely off base here. Like this is
yeah, I know. Let's keep going. We'll talk about it later off air.
So the Coffs Harbour game, we don't know. I'm assuming it's going to go ahead, but don't be surprised if you see a passing shower.
Brad will hopefully keep us updated if he's still up in Coffs.
If it does impact upon us up there. So there's not a huge amount of relevance, it seems, from a lot of us.
No.
Curran should be back this game, won't he?
Correct. He's back this game.
Yeah.
He'll be straight back in. But also, there's talk that Hayden Kerr was pretty close to playing last game too. But it'll be interesting to see who misses out because obviously Joel Davies will probably miss out for one of them. But if they both play, I don't know who's going to be the other one to come out. But they certainly need Curran back. They haven't really been going too well the Sixers at the moment, but they have had a couple of washouts to be fair.
All right, so the next game is, and the next game is also we're also going to cover the last game because they play each other twice, the Scorchers and the Strikers. Probably a very weird anomaly that we're going to discuss a little bit about that weirdness. But yeah, these two teams, Scorchers and the Strikers. Now, I've got 3 Strikers already going into the game. I don't think I'm going to get any more. It is a batting friendly wickets, both of them. So I guess that means that I'll be concentrating myself on bringing in Scorchers because I only have one, and that's Cooper Connolly. Which I'm assuming he will play. I'm also pretty certain, I'm pretty hot on the fact he'll probably get picked for Cricket Australia. Particularly if they go for young 21, 20-year-olds, etc., to take on the West Indies. So, but that's another round away, and we'll talk about that problem as well coming up. But I'm uncertain at the moment as to whether I go with two bowlers and a batsman, or whether I go two batsmen and a bowler out of the Scorchers. How are you guys looking at this one?
Yeah, look, at the moment, I've traded. I've used my second boost this week, and I'm actually bringing in. I've already got 3 strikers in a pair of shorts and mental block. Overton, yep, and yeah, so I'm bringing. I've already got Connolly in. I've already got Sam Whiteman. I know that Sam Whiteman's not likely to play unless they stick him in the field somewhere. But yeah, I'm bringing in currently four Scorchers using my second boost, so it'll at least give me 5, if not 6 Scorchers for this game, plus 3 strikers, and then my 2 heat, which I'm obviously keeping for next week.
I'm at the moment, but still undecided. I made these trades at midnight last night after it opened up. I got a little bit excited because I just wanted to see what I could do. But at the moment, I'm bringing in English, Hardy, Ty, and Richardson. I already have Connolly, and I've already got the 2 shorts and Overton, same as Timmy.
Yeah.
Which gives me 8 players that are playing double games this round. But I'm still not sure yet. I just think with both these pitches being batters' wickets, I just might end up dropping either maybe Ty or Richardson and bringing in another batter. Maybe go and Crawley is a bit of a pod even too. I'm not too sure yet, but yeah, I don't know. And then we've got this whole thing with the tour match that we don't know who's going to be picked until after this round's finished, which will probably most likely affect a few of these Scorchers players too. So I think like you said, like Hardy, Connolly, Richardson, Inglis, then you've got other guys like Sweeney, Renshaw, Bancroft. There's a crop of them there that can get picked. So
hell, even Fraser McGurk might even be up, I'd say.
Yeah, well, who knows? I mean, we really don't know. That's the thing. So yeah, but that's what I'm looking at the moment.
Now the interesting part here is, and I'll put this one to you because it's very relevant on this game. In order to get to where you need to get to this game, now, as Timmy off air, we just spoke about this. The Stars only have 3 games coming up for the rest of the competition. The teams in green, I call them, the Stars and Thunder, really are sells as fast as you possibly can. This means that some price and very heavily favoured people like Daniel Sams, Webby, Maxwell, some of these players have got to go. So, but you can't get rid of all of them because you've got to stash somebody on your bench because most of us have got around about 6 or 7 Stars and Thunder players. So you've got to keep one and stash and sell others. What do you see where I'm getting to here? So what are your high price ones, Timmy, that you're getting rid of? What are you trading out?
Yeah, look, I had dumped Webby, Sutherland, and then hold on, give me 2 seconds. I'll go back to it, but I'd sort of just reverse trade just before we went on air, actually. So my trades were now my trades are Bancroft gone, Webster gone, Steckity gone, Sam's gone for Inglis, Hardy, Behrendorff, and Ty. But it was a toss up. I'd originally gone Sutherland out, and then you boys alluded to that. Basically, I had no bench, so to have an opportunity to loop somebody in, I switched Sutherland with Sams. So dumped Sams and brought Sutherland back in. So it actually gives me one dual position player that I can actually flick between the 2 roles. Hopefully come out something better off.
It is smart. If you've got a renegade, you don't like. I've got Zampa. Shit, I'd like to sell him, but it just makes sense. You got to really hold your renegades this weekend, and you just got to concentrate on those men in green and getting rid of them. I personally think Sam's has hit his peak. He's playing in a team that's playing like a busted ass. He can't keep carrying them forever. What do you think, Roscoe? You think he's just about peaked and might be a time to have a bit of a sell? Maybe even you've got him back later for that last double, but
look, I'm selling him. I think you have to. Well, you don't have to sell him, but I think Webster's probably the one to go first out of the high price guys, and then probably Sam's, and then Maxi. I'll be holding Maxi if I can.
Yeah.
I know that the Stars don't have another double, but I just think that we've seen what he can do in single games, and I think he is one that you need to hang on to. I'm going to be selling Sam's and Webster just to make the trades that I need to make. If I had Sutherland, I'd probably hold on to him if I could. Just because he's actually playing this round, you need to be getting rid of your Stars and your Thunder first. They're the guys that need to go first.
Just a quick look at it. When I crunched the numbers before, it does mean so after this round, obviously the Strikers have a double this round. They've still got 5 games left to play. Thunder's got 4 games left to play. Obviously the Thunder on the bye this week. So a strategic play could be for similar money. Dump Sam's this week. And then after the double, you could go Jamie Overton back to Sam's for next week, at which point Strikers will only have 3 games left and the Thunder will have 4.
Yeah.
So I think there's only about 10K difference between the two. Obviously, it might make a difference. You may then not have a double, triple player next week. But for somebody of Sam's capability who's batting and bowling in a single game week, could still score better than some of those guys on a double anyway. So Jamie Overton next week, back to Dan Sams next week's probably a good play for me.
Well, Overton's got a break even of 162, so.
But he's playing 2 games.
Yeah,
so
I know that.
It's not likely he's going to drop a truckload of cash.
No, he shouldn't, hopefully. As long as he doesn't put out a 26 like he did last game.
All right, now the third game is the Renegades versus Hobart. Now this is there is a few interesting ones here. We just spoke about Sutherland. Personally, I don't think the captaincy is suiting him. I think the pressure. I'm not sure. I love Sutherland, and I'm all for the kid. I think he has a bright future in Australian cricket. But at the moment, that team is going like shit, and he's not being helped by his star players who just aren't stepping up. And the captaincy I think is weighing on him for him not to bowl himself last night.
And bowl Jono Wells. In what universe was that the right decision?
So apparently Zampa's idea to bowl Wells. So apparently he bowls like obviously it's a fair far fetched from playing BBL, but he plays a lot of great cricket over in Perth and bowls all the time apparently. But there's a reason why he's not bowling in the BBL after what we saw last night. I just think the problem was the Gades last night. They went in bowlers short because they only had 5 bowlers. And I don't understand why they picked like Mackenzie Harvey. They should have played Cooper Poley or whatever his name is. Have that second spin option, but that's where they left themselves short. It's like the Thunder every game. They're always a batter short every game too. Like, I don't know. Gades have got the spoon wrapped up for me this year.
Well, Sutherland really started the game. I mean, he started, not the game, the tournament, looking like one of the bowlers that we really needed to have. And for him not to be bowling last night, he probably shouldn't have listened to Zampa. But it's like Steve Smith listening to David Warner. We've learned now that that's a measure of a captain, haven't we? That sometimes you got to. I'm right, Timmy, though, eh?
Oh, mate, I absolutely agree, but that's a whole other podcast on itself.
So sometimes you just got to step up and make the decision and go, okay, it's maybe not necessarily in the best interest.
I'm wearing the armband, not you. Pipe down, Chachi.
The poor old Renegades. So Subbo, as we discussed, if you got him, he is a hole, but I hope they take some pressure off the poor kid because what is he, 24? But which we've had heaps younger captains, but I'm not sure it's sitting that well. Now the other interesting part here is that Hobart, of course, have a double next weekend. Now, given the fact that both the Strikers and the Scorchers are playing each other, the danger is they can just be raiding points off each other. Right. So if you get way too many, which I'm very fearful of these players, you're really only just pinching points off one team to another. So with that in mind, I've actually jumped on Chris Jordan here this week. So I've used my boost and brought in 3 Scorchers rather than 4 and jumped on a Jordan because I can see a lot of value in doing that. And that's setting me up very nicely for that round 7. What do you think? What do you think about the theory of jumping on a Hobart player early, boys? Roscoe, what are you weighing on this one?
I don't mind it, to be honest with you. I think, I think especially with the Scorchers and the Strikers playing each other twice, but I've already got 3 Hobart players at the moment, which I've got Chowdhury, Ellis, and McDermott. But the only reason why I'm going to go a bit heavier on the Scorchers is just the fact that they've got back-to-back doubles. That's the only reason why I'm doing it. I mean, if they probably didn't have back-to-back doubles, I probably wouldn't go so heavy. But yeah, looking at next round, they play Thunder and they play Brisbane. Now Thunder obviously aren't playing great at the moment, which could be an ideal matchup for them. And then they've got the Heat at the Gabba as well, so which will be a bit of a tougher game. But yeah, I don't hate the idea of bringing some Hurricanes or some Heat even already now just to get ready for your next double. I mean, everyone should be planning to try and have 11 players on the field next week that are all double game players, and that's what I'm aiming for at the moment. I've got 8 at the moment. I make 3 trades next round, and that gives me 11 players on the field that are all playing double games.
Yeah, well, goodbye Darcy Short next week. So make some money this week, mate.
Yeah.
What do you think of that theory there, Jimmy?
Yeah, look, I'm not away from it. It's I do it in a similar boat, mate. I'm either going to go 4 Scorchers this week or look at a see that the Hobart Hurricanes have got some cheaper options. Like Dermy is still. He's still under 100K, I think. I haven't checked since lock.
Yeah, 91K.
91.
Yeah. So look, he's still as cheap as you're going to get him. So instead of going for some big cash sells, you might be able to keep an extra player and then go someone cheap. Like you could go Stoinis to Dermy this round for similar cash. So, well, it's nearly exactly. So instead of having to trade a big gun for a big gun, you could probably trade one of your cheaper options that you want to get rid of anyway. Get rid of Stoinis, bring in someone like Dermy nice and early. And it could mean then having a decent player to loop in this week as well to have as a loop. So yeah, it's not something I'm against, Brad, that's for sure. And we did talk about it briefly on the Hub podcast last night, but yeah, there's certainly some merit in it, especially with some of those guys being a bit questionable. Like we said before, some of the guys that may get picked for Australia A. So you could go for a much safer option, bring in someone like McDermott, and yeah, maybe be a bit safer.
The other thing too is if you bring like 4 Scorchers in as well, you're probably not going to be able to do anything in regards to a bench loop or anything like that. And once they're locked in after the second game tonight, you're not going to be able to reverse your trades to do anything. Like if you've got someone who's an emergency and they fire up on your bench, and you've got all Scorchers, you can't reverse any of your trades to do anything with it. So,
and especially the fact that Scorchers play Strikers in both games, so you're limiting your options really, really quickly.
Well, like Brad said, they're just going to pinch points off each other. So it's hard one. I just wish we knew these squads for this tour match already, so we could make them know. Yeah.
All right. So the last game is a repeat of the Adelaide versus Scorchers game, except this one's going to be played in the batter-friendly Adelaide. Watch for those short square boundaries again, get pummeled. The likes of Hardy, etc. I think we're going to go quite well at this ground. I love flicking them off. He loves flicking them around his hip area, and so we're going to see.
Brad, sorry, there's one player I want to mention that hasn't been spoken about at all that I nearly traded in last week, and I'm filthy that I didn't. Was Chris Lynn.
Yeah.
The bloke's been on fire lately, and playing at that Adelaide Oval. You saw some of the sixes that he hit the other night. He's 189K now, That's the only thing. Like it was probably last week was a week to bring him in, but I think I don't hate the move. Um, Going someone like him over a Scorchers bowler. You know, you might go him over a Ty or a Richardson or even a Dorf or something like that. Just as a bit of a pod play. I can't imagine there's 1,300 or so that's traded him in at the moment. I don't know why, but two people have traded him out, but that's another story. But yeah, I don't hate that play. I don't hate that as a pod play, to be honest with you either. I think he's a decent option as well.
So he's currently at 10% ownership. So he is pod territory with a break even of 46. So at 189K, he's also then somebody who you could look at bringing in for this round. Obviously, should make some cash and might be a straight swap then to
Sam's or
someone
something.
like Sam's next week.
Yeah.
So that's a good shout too, Roscoe.
I'm just throwing it out there because, as I said, I just think that there's not going to. I just think that there's going to be high scoring games, both of them for batting teams. I don't think there's going to be a lot of wickets in it.
Well, I'll be death riding him. Hopefully that Overton then will get a bat.
Yeah.
But all of us just about have got the three, haven't we? Just about everyone's got the two shorts and Overton, and makes it slightly boring. But where the interesting part is the makeup of which Scorchers you're going to go. Like I'm actually now tossing up. At the moment, I've done my trades. At the moment, I've got Ty and Richo. But I can easily dump one of those and go to Hardy instead. Which
I just want to mention something too, that Honeyball's just put a post up that about Jason Beredorf playing 5 games in 10 days or so. So there's a chance that, you know, they may not play all the games. They may do some rotating with their bowlers, given that they've got 5 games in 10 days.
Yeah.
So another food for thought that those who thinking of bringing a stack of their pace bowlers in, there could be some rotations happening.
Which one do you like, Ty or Richo? Say in my case, which one would you consider as a trade out?
Oh God,
I'm all over Ty. I think Richo's more of a chance of getting a rest than AJ. AJ's been such a solid. Don't get me wrong. Richo's really good too, but look, AJ Ty is just. You saw the other night he bowled death, took 3 wickets in his last over or something or other as a pod play. That was about 3 rounds ago, and really turned the game for me. That was my biggest boost from I think I was about 4,000th at the time up to I don't know inside the top 2, so 2,000. So it's I don't know. I'm a massive Ty fan. I talked about him all preseason as a captain option every week, and I still stand by that.
I think just the fact that with the unknown with this tour match too, that there's more of a chance that Richardson's going to be the one that's going to get picked over Ty if he does get picked. So that's just something else to look at as well. So
at which point I think he's also more of a chance of a rest going into that game, because you can imagine Cricket Australia has probably given some of these clubs a bit of a tap on the shoulder and said, hey, look, if you get a chance to rest Blow this week, can you do us a favour, because he's got a pretty big game coming up.
Well, yeah, you just about convinced me there. I think about what my move should be. I'm not convinced Hardy wouldn't get selected either, mind you.
Yeah.
But I think he'll play both games this week at any rate. And then I can decide upon what I want to do next week. All right, so that's really moving it along nice and quickly. That's the rounds that have been. We've pretty much discussed what our trades are going to be, haven't we?
Yeah.
Anybody got anything to add to their trades?
No. I am building more and more on that Hobart Hurricanes idea though.
It's a good matchup too, playing the Gades as well. I've got to say that as well. It's a good matchup.
Yeah. The reason I don't mind Chris Jordan, as you know, he can come in as a late batter. He's 122,000. He has a nice break even that he should definitely make. He dropped in value so drastically because his first games were not great point scorers. However, he is a death bowler. I love death bowlers. He's the one that, if you want somebody now, if you want him, this is the week to jump on him, because he's only going to go up in value from here. 122,000 is a ridiculous price for him. So that's the other reason that I sort of jumped him there. All right, so I guess the next really debatable topic is going to be captains. this is one that's flips my brain a bit here. I keep looking at it, thinking about different permutations. I don't think there's any option here but to just straight out captain a Scorcher. Convince me that I'm wrong.
No, I agree,
Well-
especially if you've got no one really that you can bench loop in anyway. I think this round more than ever, you're going to be really limited, and the chance of you jagging someone better, not playing in that double is, very unlikely.
I mean, if you've got a sixer or a heat, you can have a swipe at a VC, just have a adult one, but you're probably not going to loop them anyway unless they go massively big, considering they're only playing one game. But I think a straight C on a Hardy or a Matt Short even.
Yeah.
I think a batter's going to be the option. I think if you're going to straight up captain someone, I think it should be a batter, not a bowler. Just given the fact that they're both bad bat friendly pitchers. Yeah, I'd probably go one of them. So yeah.
Timmy?
Yeah, look, it's hard to argue. I think it'll be on either of those two. It'll be on Shorty or Matt Short, or Hardy. And maybe if I'm feeling really gutsy, it'll go AJ Ty.
Well, the boys have convinced me now to bring Hardy in over Bishop probably. So I would
Just
say
helping
that
you out, Brad.
I would say that definitely I'll have the captaincy probably on Hardy. Having
I think this is like a make or break round too. You've got to know your captaincy this round too.
Yeah.
Like if you don't know your captaincy, you could be in big trouble. And it's just so hard. Like we just don't know. Like as I said, I just think you've got to go towards a batter over a bowler on these two pitches.
All right, now we've got what's the go with Timmy O. I can see him in the background there getting ready for this. He's all primed. Thank you very much, everybody, for the questions, by the way. Every time we put up the post, people putting questions in, and we love it. We love it. So keep doing it. All right, Timmy, what do you got?
Yeah, look, first one's going out to Matt Gibson. He's put a lengthy post in here. I'll try and go through his questions as quickly as we can. So he's asked, how important is the like of Hardy versus a cheaper option such as Crawley? I think we've just answered this. None of us have really been overly keen on Crawley. I think the biggest issue with Crawley is whether or not he stays in the team. Do we reckon he's going to stay there if everyone's available, or?
He should be there. He won't go anywhere. He's here for the whole thing, so he should be good to go.
He stays there. He'll be safe as houses.
Yeah, but at bat only, Hardy may be throwing over a few as well. Look, I don't know. Do we all agree that Hardy's a much better option than Crawley? Obviously, Crawley a lot cheaper. I don't know what he's in at, but was he 120K or something like that? I haven't looked for a few rounds.
Yeah, he's about 125K or something, I think. 138K, sorry, 138.
Hell yeah, Hardy is better. Now, it's funny, I actually I did crunch some numbers, but have a look at the number threes that are going okay in the BBL this year and the figures that they're putting out Supercoach wise. Fraser McGirt, number 3. Hardy, number 3. Who's another number 3? There was another one Webby, number 3.
Yeah.
You know, the number 3s actually are producing very good scores. Crawley, look, the one thing about him is he's not going to get picked for Cricket Australia. So you've got a safe option there, I agree, where Hardy, there's a little bit more risk because he could well get picked as captain for Cricket Australia. So, yeah.
The other part of his question is, do you think Hardy will bowl much with the Strikers having 5 with the Scorchers having 5 strike bowlers in the team plus Connolly? Hardy generally gets an opportunity to throw a couple of overs in most games, doesn't he?
He's only bowled one over most games. If he's bowled, that's it.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of games he hasn't bowled. So, but if they're going to start resting players, Timmy, they're like Roscoe just alluded to then, if they rest one of those bowlers, then absolutely he could bowl an over or two a bit more likely,
It's all going to come down as to whether Matt Kelly's fit or not to be able to come in. I have to check the teams in a minute, but while you guys keep going, I'm just going to see if he was named in the squad or not. So,
righto, the next part of the question he asks, I'll try and get through this bit as quick as I can. So, which guns to keep? He's listed So Matt Short, obviously you want to keep because he's on the double. Overton you want to keep, but he's looked at Sam, Sutherland, Webster, Maxi, Walter. I think you'd be keeping Shorty, you'd keep Overton. We've talked about Sam, Sutherland, Webster. Maxi, you'd want to keep. I think he's just the best player in the game. And Tall Paul's got the double next week, so I'd absolutely be
he's
keeping him as
definitely a
well.
hold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we pretty much
Yeah.
covered that before. Sam's is the one to,
Yeah.
and Webby got to go. So yeah.
Yep, super. He's asked a question about coughs. I think we mentioned that earlier in the show, so it should be good to go depending on weather today. Geez, he had a good chat with you, Brad, while he was asking his questions. Righto, Shane Hughes, can we please have a magic round at Marvel? Now, this has been a topic that a lot of the podcasts have talked about as well. Let's try and get through some catch-up games, turn the roof on or close the roof at Marvel and just throw everyone down in Melbourne for a magic round. Sounds like a great idea. Considering it's T20, maybe Cricket Australia would consider it. But that's a lot of cricket to get through in a short period of time. Righto, Dan, sorry, so that was Shane Hughes. Dan Morgan, will 3 strikers, 4 Scorchers be enough double game week players this round and save my last boost for the triple double next round? Yeah, look, I think it'll be enough as long as you pick the right ones. I think we're all going to have much the same 3 strikers. If you've got Chris Lynn in there as well, that's pretty sweet. 4 Scorchers. Yeah, look, it depends obviously the makeup of your team and the rest of the players. It will also depend on which players you've got options then of looping in, I guess. So the bigger the bench, the more chance you are of playing well. Anything to add?
I think 7's the minimum that you want to have. Minimum.
Yeah.
You know, I think you can run with 7's okay. I don't mind the idea of holding the boost. It depends on who you're looking to bring in, because if it's someone like McDermott or Jordan that's got low break evens or negative break evens, I'd be using the boost and bringing him in this round. It's all depending on who you're going to bring in. If it's someone from the Heat or Hurricanes who've got a high break even, you want to wait a week, fine, no worries, hold that boost. But it really depends on who you're looking to bring it in, Dan.
Yeah, 100%, Dan. I've got 7, and that's what I'm sticking with. And I have used the boost to do exactly what we just discussed about before, bringing Chris Jordan at a nice low break even and a bottom dollar.
Okay, so you've used your boost and you're looking like only having 7 double gamers this week.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was saying, should he hold his boost? If he's got 7, should he hold his boost for next round? If that's the case, Brad's logic is absolutely yes. It's a good idea to hold it.
Unless you're going to buy a player that is starting to bottom out in price, and you go, okay, well now's the time to jump.
Yeah.
There's a few out there that are like that. You go, okay, right, there's a double game coming up. I'm going to get them now this week before that price goes up even further.
Yeah, like McDermott's got a break even of -8. Like if you're looking at bringing him in, you may as well use your boost and get him this week, rather than wait till next week.
Yeah, good call. Good call. So Dan, I hope that answers your question. Nick Pink, how many are too many strikers and Scorchers since they play each other? Look, this is a tough one. Andrew, the champ, or double champ, I should say, he's normally dead against picking players who play against each other. I think this round is pretty hard to avoid that one. But look, we've all sort of said 7's probably the minimum. If you can jag 8, that's great. Otherwise, keep an eye on BEs and players for the next double. I certainly wouldn't be selling anyone that's got a double coming up. But yeah, I think 7 or 8 is probably the magic number. Travis Bishop, lads, who are your main 3 or 4 Scorcher targets? Look, I think we're all in agreement that the 4 would be AJ, Richo, Hardy, and Inglis in keeping. I think there's too much chance of Lance Morris not playing the double in the next round. Mind you, most of those guys have got a chance of missing the double next round anyway. But yeah, are we in agreement that that's our top 4?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, super. Awesome. That's it for questions, boys. Thank you very much. Thanks to our viewers for bringing them in. And that's been a segment that's building every week. So, yeah, keep them coming.
Thanks, guys.
All right, excellent work there. Thank you very much for those questions, folks. And yeah, as Timmy said, when we put up the post, whack them in there because we don't ignore any. We always try to get to them. All right, so that's just about it. Keep it nice and short this week so that people have time to get into it before this double. What have we got? A double header there today, so you've got to make your trades pretty quickly. Roscoe, you got anything to add?
No, just looking forward to a good day of cricket. We've got a test match starting today, and we've got double back-to-back play games of BBL, so I'll be parking my ass on the couch pretty much all day. The joys of being on holidays, mate. To be able to sit there all day and watch about 15 hours of cricket today.
And no kids at home, Roscoe.
No kids.
All right. Well, it is a cracking day of cricket. There's an awful lot of it on. What about you, Timmy? What do you got planned?
Oh, mate, once we get out of here, I'll go do my hair and makeup. And I got a dentist appointment this morning. So not root canal surgery, thank God, because that would be about as painful as sitting on the couch and watching a rain delay. But yeah, look, it's I've got a few things on with the family today as well. So, boys, one thing I will throw out there really quickly. I know we interviewed Sam Haslett a couple of weeks ago on the show, and he's pretty keen to do a few things with us once NRL kicks off. He obviously can't get heavily involved because of the rules with BBL Supercoach. But Sam down at Hobart Hurricanes, I touched base with him the other day. I'm really hoping he gets a start for the Canes this Sunday against the Brisbane Heat. He's a Brisbane boy, and yeah, so hopefully he comes back home and makes that 11. Yeah, a few question marks over Wadey and his injuries or soreness or whatever it is with Wadey at the moment. So it'd be great if Sammy Haslett can squeeze in there somehow and have a debut game for the Hurricanes back at his home ground at the Gabba.
I just want to say we just had a message put up from Michael McLean on the off the bench page, saying thanks Brad Smith for your tip about the weather for the last two games. Helped me decide to go with the Thunder Canes players. Great advice. So there you go. I believe I'm pretty sure that I think Michael is the coach of Panthers 23, who did pump out a 1263 this week. So well done, mate. That's a massive score too.
Oh man,
Huge
that's a great score. Yeah, good stuff. Just quickly, what happened with the Australian women's game last night?
Australia won by 190 runs. Absolutely pummeled them.
Man, I was watching that Phoebe Litchfield, and all jokes aside, we can joke, but her wrists, she can play to any part of the ground just about with wrists like she has.
Yeah,
she just flicks them either side. For a 21-year-old to be doing what she's doing, got a century last night, so well done, Phoebe Litchfield. As I said, she's certainly a player.
they rolled India for 148.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, as I said, Phoebe Litchfield just about scored that amount on her own.
Yeah.
No, well done there to the Australian.
Well done to the girls on the whitewash of the series too. They won 3-0. So well done.
Good stuff. All right, that's it for today. Thank you very much. We'll get this podcast up immediately. And mate, raid straight away and have fun, everyone.
Good luck, everyone.
Stay safe. Be good.